Good morning, students. Today, we'll complete this essay of studies by Francis Bacon. In my previous lectures, I told you that Bacon states the importance of studies, and he also says that we must read in order to weigh and consider. We must compare two things. Our studies, our knowledge should help us to understand the details of each and everything. We must not have this in mind that we have to prove others wrong or we must win in argumentation, but we must have good thoughts in our mind, and it must help us to take right decisions in our life. Apart from that, Bacon also says that there are so many books in the world, and it is not necessary that you should read each and every book. Some books you must read in parts. You could read summary of some books. Some books you must read, you could say, there are some books which needs to be swallowed, or you must read it hurriedly. And there are some books which are important. Only those books must be read with attention and with laboriously. You must read those books laboriously because those are important books. Now he also says that reading makes a man complete. Conference, if he is able to confer, then it makes a man ready, and it is through writing that makes a man perfect. Okay, now today in this lecture, I'll tell you that Bacon states different advantages of studies. Okay, now these are different branches of knowledge, histories. What um, or what happens when a person studies history? What happens if he likes poetry, or what if he studies mathematics? So in this lecture, I'll tell you that what are different benefits of studies, or what are the advantages of these different fields of studies. Now Bacon says that histories make men wise. Now if a man studies history, then he will be considered as wise. Why? Because it is through history that we come to know about ancient culture, about ancient civilization, about the great decisions took by the great leaders. So we'll come to know about those decisions, about the right deeds of the person, about the misdeeds of the person. So it is through history that we come to know about the great events, about the past insights. So it is through history that a person becomes wise. Now, poets help us to understand, or it improves our critical thinking. So, if we read poetry, it makes us witty, it improves our ability. We come to know about the poet, we come to know about his instincts. So, it develops our thinking. Now, mathematics make us subtle. Why subtle? Subtle, you could say sharp or precise, because a mathematician, it is considered that concentration level is required while studying mathematics. So, if a person studies mathematics, then it will develop his concentration level. He would be expert in reasoning, in problem solving methods, etc. Now, natural philosophy is deep. Natural sciences help us to increase our depth of mind. Moral grave. Now, moral is ethics, moral science. Okay. Now, ethics makes us better human being. Grave is, you could say, gambhir or serious. So the study of ethics, it adds to our values. It improves, it makes us better human being. Logic and rhetoric able to contend. So it is through studies of logic and rhetoric that it develops our ability to argue, our ability, or you could say, it really helps us in making, in the art of writing and the act of speaking effectively. Now logic and rhetoric, it really improves, or it really helps us to assert our opinions effectively. Now, this is a Latin term, "ebiunt studia" in mors, which means that it is a Latin saying which means that studies actually shape the habits and character of a person. Now he says that, nay, there is no stone or impediment in the wit, but may be wrought out by fit studies. He says that even mental deficiencies, even mental problems could be solved by studies. He says कि ऐसा कोई भी इम्पेडिम ऐसी कोई भी बाधा या ऐसी कोई भी परेशानी मुश्किल विट की नहीं है, या दिमाग से रिलेटेड अगर कोई प्रॉब्लम है, अगर कोई मेंटल डेफिशिएंसी है, तो उसे भी स्टडीज़ के द्वारा दूर किया जा सकता है. लाइक एज डिजीज ऑफ द बॉडी may have appropriate exercises. He says that even if a person suffers from any deficiency, or if a person has any pain, or if he is not fit, then doctor recommends exercise. Apart from medicines, doctors also recommend physical exercises. So he says कि जिस तरह से हमारी फिजिकल बॉडी में अगर कोई बीमारी हो जाती है तो उसे एक्सरसाइज के द्वारा दूर किया जा सकता है, उसी तरह से अगर माइंड से रिलेटेड कोई मेंटल डेफिशिएंसी है तो उसे भी स्टडीज़ के द्वारा दूर किया जा सकता है. Now he says that bowling is good for the stone and reins. Now he gives example of these physical exercises. So it is believed that the game of bowling is good for the stone and reins kidneys. तो ये जो बोलिंग एक्सरसाइज है वो किडनीज के लिए बेटर होती है. अगर स्टोन है, किडनीज के लिए एक बेटर एक्सरसाइज होती है. शूटिंग जो है वो लंग्स एंड ब्रेस्ट्स के लिए सही एक्सरसाइज है. एंड इट इज़ बिलीव दैट जेंटल वॉकिंग इज ऑलवेज गुड फॉर द स्टमक, riding is good for the head, and like so. So similarly he says, if a man's wit be wandering, let him study the mathematics. Now here lies the problem. If you are not able to concentrate, if your wit be wandering, are if you suppose you study, okay, you are studying and your mind is somewhere else, your mind is on Instagram and on Netflix. So he says that if you're not able to concentrate, then you must study mathematics. And I must say that these mathematicians, they have a absolute, they have perfect level of concentration. For in demonstrations, if his wit be called away never so little, he must begin again. क्योंकि क्या होता है मैथमेटिक्स में, अगर कोई भी प्रॉब्लम हम सॉल्व करते हैं तो थोड़ा सा भी अगर ध्यान भटक गया तो हमें वो जो प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व कर रहे होते हैं, जो कोई भी सम कर रहे होते हैं, तो वो पूरा का पूरा वापस करना होता है. क्योंकि कहीं पर भी अगर हमारा ध्यान भटका तो हमें वापस से स्टार्ट करना पड़ेगा. सो ही सेज दैट्स व्हाई मैथमेटिशियंस have a perfect level of concentration. They have a very good level of concentration. So Bacon says that if you are not able to concentrate on your studies, if you think of two or more things while studying, then you must try to understand the concepts of mathematics, or you could even try to study this branch of knowledge. You could start studying mathematics so that your level of concentration will improve and you won't be facing that problem again. Now, the second problem is of, if his wit be not apt to distinguish or find difference, let him study the schoolmen, for they are simony sectors. Now, Bacon says that इफ़ यू आर नॉट एबल टू फाइंड डिफरेंस, अगर आपको ये पता ना चल पाए कि कौन सी चीज़ सही है कौन सी गलत है या दोनों में क्या अंतर है, देन यू शुड स्टडी. स्कूल मैन आर द फिलोसफर्स. You must study the ancient philosophers and their philosophies, because they were expert. They are here called as simony sectors, means बाल की खाल निकालने वाले, किसी भी चीज़ की गहराई तक जाना. तो जब हम किसी भी चीज़ की गहराई तक जाएंगे तभी हमें उस चीज़ के जो बेस है या जो जो भी उसके सटल थिंग्स है, जो नुआंसेस हैं, वो बारीकियां हैं, वो हमें तभी पता चलेंगी. सो बेकन सेज दैट इफ यू आर नॉट एबल टू फाइंड डिफरेंस बिटवीन टू थिंग्स, देन यू मस्ट स्टडी द स्कूल मैन, because they are expert in going in detail of each and every discussion. That's why if you'll study this branch of knowledge, or if you'll study schoolmen, then definitely you'll be able to find difference. Now, if he be not apt to beat over matters and to call upon one thing to prove and illustrate another, let him study the lawyer's cases. Now, Bacon says that if you are not able to prove things, if you are not able to give examples, then you must study these lawyers' cases, because they are well aware with so many examples. They easily prove things, they easily state their points. So, if you have this problem, if you are facing this problem, then you must study these lawyers' cases. Okay, so Bacon says, he concludes his essay with the line, so every defect of the mind may have a special recipe. So Bacon says that it is possible to solve your mental deficiency with studies. स्टडीज़ के द्वारा हम अपनी जो ये मेंटल डेफिशिएंसीज हैं उन्हें दूर कर सकते हैं. अगर पढ़ाई में मन नहीं लग रहा है, और ये कुछ से अगर ध्यान भटक रहा है, तो मैथ्स पढ़नी चाहिए. अगर किसी बात की डिटेल तक जाना हो, या हमें डिफरेंस पता करना हो किसी भी चीज़ का, तो हमें जो फिलोसफर्स हैं उनकी थ्योरीज पढ़नी चाहिए, क्योंकि वो किसी भी चीज़ की डिटेल तक जाते हैं. या फिर अगर हमें कोई भी चीज़ वो समझ नहीं आ रही है, कि या हम किसी चीज़ को प्रूव नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, एक एग्जाम्पल देख के समझा नहीं पा रहे हैं, कैसे एक चीज़ को एग्जाम्पल देख के समझाएं, तो हमें लॉयर्स की जो केसेस हैं वो पढ़ने चाहिए. सो दैट्स वाई बेकन सेज दैट every mental deficiency can be treated effectively through studies. So, this was your essay of studies by Francis Bacon, and I hope it's clear to you. Thank you.